Welcome everyone to our April 29th Rotary Club of Madison online meeting. I'm Andrea Kaminsky, Club President. Let's begin our meeting today by reciting the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. We have a few committee reports today. First, an update from Fabricio, our Rotary Youth Exchange student from Brazil. Fabricio?
Hello everybody, if you don't know me, my name is Fabricio. I'm 17 years old. I just turned 17 last week and I didn't have a party, of course, because like coronavirus, but it was really fun with my family here at home. And I hope you guys are all staying safe. Please stay at home if you could. So I gotta tell you guys something that really surprised me in Madison. So something that really surprised me in Madison is like the lakes. So before I come here in Madison, I saw the lakes, like I saw some pictures during the summer, the lakes. So they were very beautiful, but like they're even more beautiful than the internet. So it really surprised me. And some things that I would love to do when the quarantine is over, of course, like go outside and enjoy, but meeting my friends from school, that's one thing. And it's kind of weird but I'm really missing school. I never liked studying, but I'm missing school here. And of course, meeting my friends and play soccer again, for sure. That's the thing that I most love to do. So thank you so much, you guys, for your attention. Hope you're all staying safe and have a nice meeting, everybody.
Thank you, Fabricio. And we're glad you're doing well during this historic time in which students all have to study from home. Now, our Rotary Youth Exchange Committee Chair, Janine O'Rourke, has a follow-up on Fabricio's report. Janine.
Hi, Rotarians. I'm Janine O'Rourke, Youth Exchange Officer for our club. I'm also a former Rotary exchange student to Japan way back in 1985-86. You just heard from Fabricio, our current exchange student from Brazil, who is attending Madison East High School and being well cared for by his first host family, Sarah and Ryan Redeman. The Youth Exchange Committee has his second host family secured, but we are still looking for a family to host him this September through December. Would you consider this? You can find more information on what that involves in the link in this week's Friday newsletter, or by contacting Eli Van Camp or myself. My family has hosted many exchange students over the years, and it has always been a very rewarding experience and created lifelong friends. If hosting is not an option for you, perhaps you would be willing to introduce Fabricio to a Wisconsin experience once we are able to move around the community more freely. A Brewers game, fishing on Lake Michigan, a pontoon boat ride on Mendota, behind the scenes at the state capitol. Whatever your connection and pastime offers, he would be grateful for the experience. Thanks for your support of Rotary Youth Exchange, where we build peace ambassadors of the future, one student at a time.
Thanks, Janine, and I hope members will consider becoming involved in our Rotary Youth Exchange program. It's really a very exciting program. And now I'll call on Charles McClymans, chair of our Rotary International Committee. He'll provide an update on this year's Rotary International Fund Drive. Charles?
Thank you, President Andrea, and hello, fellow Rotarians. All members received a mailing 2 weeks ago with materials about this year's International Fund Drive. Your contribution to the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International supports many important worldwide projects and programs. Our club's international Change Her Story project in Ghana received support from the Rotary International Foundation of Rotary International and is breaking the cycle of poverty for 15,000 girls and their families by educating them and helping them stay in school through graduation. The Rotary International Foundation is also providing COVID-19 support, and our district has supplied for some of that funding as well. Our district requires clubs to contribute an average of $100 per member to be eligible for matching dollars for international projects. And we call this Every Rotarian, Every Year. And matching district funds are required to receive matching funds from the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International. In order for our club to continue to be eligible for $75,000 in district and international matching fund dollars for our Change Her Story project in Ghana and other projects in international projects in the future, our members must contribute a combined total of $50,000 by June 30th of this year. In our first 2 weeks alone, we have already raised $15,825 with 62 members participating, so we're off to a great start. Please send your gifts to the Rotary office, and I'll be back next week for an update. In the meantime, be well and stay safe.
Thank you, Charles, and thanks to all of our members who have contributed to this year's campaign. Now, even though we aren't able to have in-person meetings, our Member Development Committee hopes that you're continuing to think about your friends, colleagues, and neighbors who might make good additions to our club once we're back in session with in-person meetings. Their committee report comes in the form of a song produced by Rotarian Bob Gallagher with full cooperation from Jerry Mills, who wrote it. And now we'll listen to it.
When I see a need, I like to lend a hand. We all need someone to understand that there are people in this world who really need us now. It's up to each of us to figure out how. We are calling out around the world, come join us. There is work for you and me. We are building communities and bridging continents all around the world. When I hear the call, service above self, it's not just a slogan on my office shelf. It's the way I choose to live, the hand I have to give. Thankful for the chance to give of myself. We are calling out around the world, come join us. There is work for you and me. We are building communities and bridging continents all around the world. come join us. There is work for you and me. We are building communities and bridging continents all around, all around, all around, the we're reaching out. We are calling out around the world, come join us.
I hope that song inspires you to think of someone you know who is interested in connecting with us in Rotary when we get back to having in-person luncheons. Can't wait. Now, we have birthdays to celebrate. And this week's birthday members are James Bartson, Casey Likas, Bob Westervelt, Ron Luskin, Lisa Zwierzinski, Sean Baxter, Neil Dindorf, Carmen Porco, Hank Curran, Mary Donahue, Vicki Holshoe, and Rich Leffler. We wish all of these members a happy birthday, and we thank those who made contributions to our Madison Rotary Foundation. Let's sing Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rotarians. Happy birthday to you.
Many thanks to Jeff and Angela Bartell for leading us in singing Happy Birthday today. And now on to this week's speaker. Now, April 29th is the fifth Friday of the month, and we would have had our evening social meeting with a shorter speaker presentation had we been able to meet in person. But today, our speaker is our very own Rotary member, Nasra Wehelie, who is an inspiring leader with extensive experience in community engagement and nonprofits for 14 years in this area. Nasra joined our club in 2015 and currently serves on our board of directors. She also serves on our scholarship, member development, and program committees. Nasra is originally from Somalia, and she's been a resident of Madison for 31 years. Today, Nasra is going to share some background on Ramadan, which began on April 24th. She'll discuss the personal, social, and religious aspects of Ramadan. And this is valuable for all of us to understand, and in particular, it'll help human resources professionals, line managers, and others to create a conducive work environment for their Muslim employees. As we welcome Nasra, I want to remind you that you can submit questions by way of YouTube chat, or you can email them to the Rotary office for Nasra up until the end of her presentation. Then we'll include those questions during our live Zoom question and answer session after today's meeting. You can find the link for the Q&A Zoom session in the email that you received about today's meeting. So let's welcome Nasra to our virtual podium.
Good afternoon. I hope everyone is safe and healthy at home during this COVID-19 pandemic and stay home orders. I miss seeing everyone, and I hope life will go back to normal so we can start seeing each other at our normal meeting time at the Park Hotel. I'm here this afternoon to talk to you about the traditions of Ramadan. As a Muslim American, fasting during the Ramadan is one of the most rewarding and yet the most challenging time. And the reason why I say challenging is during Ramadan or during the fasting, the days are so long. And also if you are working in a non-conducive environment, it's more challenging. However, there are organizations who are making intentional decisions to support their Muslim colleagues. Also, there are colleagues who are willing to help their Muslim friends and neighbors, and yet they don't know how to help. That's why I'm here this afternoon, is to give you a little background of Ramadan so that you can engage in the conversation. So people sometimes stay quiet because they don't want to offend anyone, or they don't know what to say or what to do. That's why I'm here this afternoon, is talk to you about Ramadan traditions and its significance. When is Ramadan? Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic lunar calendar. The lunar calendar is 11th days shorter than the solar calendar. Each lunar month moves 11 days earlier each year. Therefore, Ramadan moves around each season. That's why you will see Ramadan sometimes it's in the fall or in the winter or the spring or the summer. Ramadan begins at the sight of the new moon and ends with the fading of the crescent. What does it mean to fast in Ramadan? Fasting begins at dawn, that's before the sunrise, and ends with the sunset. Physical aspect of fasting includes abstaining from eating, drinking, smoking, and any sexual activities during the daylight. The spiritual aspect of fasting includes abstaining from profanity, gossiping, and being hurtful to others. So knowing that, it's not fasting from food, but there's also a physical aspect of it. Ramadan also teaches the practice of self-discipline, self-control, sacrifice, and empathy for those who are less fortunate. The significance of Ramadan. Ramadan is the month in which the Holy Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It's the month of fasting, repentance, prayers, increased worship, resilience, patience, and charity. Fasting during the Ramadan is one of the 4 pillars of Islam. The first is declaration of faith. Second, the Salah, which is the daily 5 prayers. The Zakat, or the charity. And the Psalm, which is the 4th pillars of Islam, which is fasting during the month of Ramadan. And Hajj during the pilgrimage. People go to Mecca when they're able to. In 2018, I was privileged to go to Mecca with my husband, and that was one of the most profound experience I ever had. The benefit of Ramadan, it has 3 benefits. One is the spiritual benefit. Ramadan helps Muslims get closer to God through increased reflections, recitation of the Quran, and additional nightly prayers and worship. The personal benefit includes it trains Muslims to reflect inward and improve their character through kindness, empathy, generosity, and forgiveness. Fasting is also seen as a way to learn patience and also break old habits. Health benefit includes lowering of blood pressure, blood sugar, and the cholesterol. Who is required to fast Ramadan? A lot of people ask, who can fast and who cannot fast. All Muslims who are adults are required to fast during the month of Ramadan, with exceptions of children, adults who have health issues, adults who are traveling long distance, and women who are pregnant or post-childbirth care or breastfeeding. Ramadan activities includes many activities, and unfortunately, this year it will be affected. But I want to just share the activities, and then I will share how it will affect during this COVID-19 pandemic. Suhoor is the meal that starts during the dawn before the sunrise. Iftar is the breaking of the fast at the sunset, and all Muslims around the world, even though they have different tradition in meals and different culture, the date is one of the common food or fruits that are used universally. Tarawih is the optional prayer during the night. Qiyam, the optional prayer during the last 10 nights of the Ramadan. Laylatul Qadr is the last 10 nights of the Ramadan, but it's mostly and widely observed on the 27th of the month. Muslims spend these nights in increased prayers and worship. And, when people are going through the Ramadan or they are fasting, the main activity happens during the night. Ramadan during the quarantine, it's different. Ramadan will be different during these unprecedented times of COVID-19 pandemic and stay-home orders, as community aspect will be missed a lot. A large part of Ramadan is the community gathering, eating together, and the fellowship. Attending iftars at families and friends at home, as well as large scale of community iftar dinners will be missed this year. Additionally, nightly prayers, late night prayers that are held during the night at the mosque will not be happening this year. Muslims around the world are sad about what's happening during this Ramadan. However, they're becoming more creative and trying to plan for Zoom iftar with the families and friends. So when I was asked to talk about Ramadan, the one area that I was really interested in talking about is how in the workplace we can create a conducive environment for Muslim colleagues. Working with Muslim colleagues during the month of Ramadan is very critical. HR professionals, line managers, and other stakeholders need to understand the personal, the social, and the spiritual sensitivities of their staff. Understanding that this is the most spiritual month for Muslims and be supportive is so important. Understanding Muslim Ramadan experience and accommodating their needs is also so important. This will help employees perform to be the best of their abilities. This support will lead to mutual trust and will lead to higher employee retention and greater productivities. Supporting Muslims colleagues, understanding that, like I said earlier, most of the activities happen during the evening, and evenings are dedicated to eating, prayers, and gathering within the families and wider community. Avoid scheduling evening events or activities, especially if organizations have activities during the evening. Just scheduling at a later time or after Ramadan will be helpful. Fasting 18 hours a day is not easy, and colleagues need to appreciate how this can translate into behavior or working practices. Making special accommodation for Muslims to take a break during the sunset, if those who are working during the evening, that's second or third shifts employees. I will share with you some ways you can wish your Muslim colleagues happy Ramadan. You can say happy Ramadan. You can say Ramadan Kareem. You can say Ramadan Mubarak. The end of the Ramadan is also will be sad this year because the communal and the fellowship will be missed due to this unprecedented time of COVID-19. The end of the Eid al-Fitr marks the end of the Ramadan. This year, the holiday will be held on May 23rd or May 24th. And again, this will not be a community gathering and so forth. Muslim will usually attend Eid prayer during the early morning and pay zakat al-fitr, a prescribed amount of money obligatory to every Muslim to pay to the poor. Food, games, and present for children are important part of these festivities. Muslims spend the day visiting friends and families, socializing and sharing gifts and meals. The greeting for this special day is called Eid Mubarak. Again, this year, due to COVID-19 pandemic, Muslims around the world will be missing the spiritual and the social aspect of Ramadan as well as the end of Ramadan. So it's very challenging and very hard time for everyone, but also particularly the spiritual month and the most important month of the fasting, which is the Ramadan. Happy Ramadan, everyone, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to you about Ramadan. If you have any questions, I'll be here another 15 minutes to take any questions. Thank you.
Thanks so much to Nasra for sharing her background about Ramadan with us today. And I want to remind members you can rewatch this video or view other past speakers on our club's YouTube channel. And you can get to the YouTube channel using the link that's on our club's homepage of our website. Now, after we adjourn, anyone interested can join us for a 15-minute live Q&A question and answer period with Nasra. Just click on the Zoom link that's included in your email about today's meeting. And now our meeting is adjourned, and we'll see you online next Wednesday.